Hello, this is part two of my interview with our SVP, VP, and a director over our digital ad sales program. If you haven't seen part one yet, I would highly recommend it. It's covering what it's like selling in the SMB space versus the enterprise space. So that's what you're interested. I would highly recommend starting with that video and then moving to this one. In this video, we're going to be talking about what it's like training those reps. So if that's what you're interested in, please stay and enjoy. Let's get right into it. Does training differ? Is that hard for companies to overcome?
Yeah, let me jump in, Nick. I know Nick is like, I want to rail on this. Yeah, I mean, you think about the SMB space, it's wildly challenging versus enterprise and mid-market. You can pay for a totally different profile. And so in the SMB space, what you're really trying to master and perfect is the job kit. What are we looking to hire? Who are we looking to hire? What skills do they need to possess? What knowledge do they need to have? What experiences should they have? What attributes should they have? And then from there, once we understand that and know exactly what to hire and what to do, it's all about the training. So for example, in SMB, you're not going to go hire a seasoned vet that has 10 years of digital ad tech experience. You just can't. You can't afford to do it and keep your cost to serve or cost to acquire profitable. And so what you're doing is you're building a system that trains individuals on the ecosystem, trains them on the value proposition, what to sell, how to look at data. I mean, some of the individuals that you pick up have all the right skills, but they've never used Salesforce before, right? And in mid-market or enterprise, if you're like, hey, do you have, how much experience do you have in Salesforce? They're like, yeah, done it for years. In our world, sometimes in SMB, you start meeting or start training these individuals, and they're like, yeah, new to Salesforce, don't know how to build a report. So again, it goes back to both training, but then also how do you build systems that help individuals so that way they don't have to be an expert at everything.
And one of the questions you asked us earlier, Connor, was why is SMB challenging for companies, right? And Dan spoke to a little bit here, which is you can't go hire 100 people at rates that you pay for mid-market and enterprise reps, right? The cost to acquire just doesn't work. And the reality is in SMB, you need to solve for volume. You need to have a lot of people because you need to close a lot of business. And you need those people to be able to support a lot of business. So you need a lot of folks, but you need a machine in order to operate that. And so systems and process are critical. You need a leadership team who understands that. But from the training perspective, you have to be able to have a machine that can just train people for exactly what they need to know. And again, to Dan's point, you're hiring people who don't come with all the experience of the systems and tools, right? So we have a lot of success hiring from people from outside the space, people who are really good communicators, who are hard workers. You can think like social workers, customer service folks, people who work in the service industry, who work really hard. They're really smart. They know how to communicate with people. And if you just train them on the systems and tools that we have, which we've perfected, you can hire a lot of those people and give them opportunities that they would have otherwise not had. And so you get people who are really committed, but it's the training component. They have to be set up for success, right? And so after spending years and years and years of scaling teams, we've sort of perfected the art of train them just on what they need to know and that type of profile to make them successful, right? And so, a lot of the training programs I've been involved with in mid-market and enterprise, it's if they even have a fully baked training program, which is a fantastic opportunity if they do, most don't, ramp times are 6, 9, if you're an enterprise, 12, 18 months, right, to be fully ramped. In SMB, you need to have people closing business, time to value, time to first deal in 3-4 months. And so do you have a training system that is supported, enabled, detailed enough to be able to run that efficiently? And how do you support people to hit those metrics? And that's critical to an SMB team scaling.
Last thing I'll just add to that is just how are you building out reporting, process, and product to scale? Like a key example is, is your product or your platform built out that can be automated in as many ways as possible, or are your ICs having to pull reports to send status updates to end clients, and then to come back and to take all the data, pivot it out so it's in a presentable manner, or is it automated in a sense that the rep only has to click a button so it can push out? It takes a lot of time for leadership and ops teams to be diving into our processes and our reporting, even on the product side of things, leaning in with you, like the client, to say like, okay, what's within your product that we know is going to be a hurdle for SMBs? Like reporting is the one that kicks out to me, where it's hard for us to automate reporting. So can we get that on the product roadmap, so that way it makes it easier for us to penetrate an SMB. It makes it easier for our teams to operate at scale for that piece. And so I think just the last thing is like everybody in the organization, sales, support, product, needs to be thinking, how can we automate things so that way it can scale faster? If it's not automated, it's going to break. It's going to break as you try to push scale and stress test it.
Well, and I think one thing to add to this is just like every partner we work with is at a different point in their life cycle.
Yep.
As a mature in like maturity of their own models. And so, we work with brands that are very have it very dialed out. We also work with brands that are just trying to solve it for the first time, and they're like, hey, we don't have any training material, can you help us? And so I think every company, and a little bit of it is about the journey, right? And so Nick's talking a ton about like reporting. All of this reporting that we talk about didn't exist or doesn't exist at certain levels based on on certain clients. And so as we're working together, that's where, I think that MarketStar really has a lot of power, is because we can come and say, hey, here are all the fields that we believe are missing. So for example, I can't measure your lead creation to time of us engaging the partner. And that's a big problem. Right? We want to be able to engage that partner as fast as possible so we can increase your lead to conversion rate. But without that data being captured and then a report being able to be built, there's no way to measure it to start driving more and more operational efficiency. And so, I think that's where the benefit really comes in is every company is going to be at a different stage, and that's fine. But it's iteration over time and building together that really drives that power. At least of all the brands I've worked with, that's where you start to get that operational efficiency and scale out of these kind of partnerships.
Thank you for watching. Part 3 will be coming out shortly, so we hope to see you in the next one.